Officer Goodman, how long you have been a police officer?
I, after getting out of the military, I spent 2.5 years in law enforcement.
Mhm. And you've been in law enforcement. I'm pretty sure you spent a lot of time.
A little bit.
Yep. So you've been a police officer. Do when it comes to your recruitment tactics, do y'all actually recruit like y'all go after black males to be police officers?
I think that it depends on the city. Um, in an area like Atlanta, naturally, the recruitment is going to be a little higher than maybe a Salt Lake City. Um, so, in that aspect, yes. However, still, even right now, outside of maybe, and I can't speak on them, I'm just speculating, but outside of maybe cities like New York, Philly, Boston, the recruitment is not always as big of a deal as maybe you would think it should be or it could be. In a lot of these, in a lot of cases, from my own experience, what I've seen is there's a vacancy and there's a need for a job. So not everybody who gets into law enforcement gets into law enforcement to do the right thing. Some people get in it just as a line of work, just as a method to pay bills.
Yeah, we experiencing that right now.
Yeah.
So this question for the panel, for the entire panel, and also for the viewers. When you dealing with inner city kids, when you dealing with our people within our community, how important is it to have someone policing your neighborhood that looks just like us?
I'll go first if you don't mind. Like living in Atlanta, you can't grow up in Bankhead. You can't grow up in East Atlanta. You can't grow up in College Park, East Point, certain neighborhoods,
Hmm?
and not know the culture and not know. I would I used to tell my roommate. I won't say his name, but he was a Mexican guy, and we were in Fulton County, outside of Atlanta, and he was going to be not the first ever, but he was going to be the only Mexican on our police force. And I used to tell him every single day, I was like, look, you got to graduate. Stop focusing on how hard it might be or what you think it is. I was like, find the slowest person that's ever done it and measure yourself up to that person. Are you better than them? Absolutely. So you don't have a problem. And I used to tell him, I was like, your people need you. Because I lived in Arizona, but I'm coming in and I'm the rookie guy. And the Mexican population in the area was growing. I used to tell them all the time, I was like, you don't know how it's gonna feel when you pull up in a police car as opposed to a white guy or opposed to me pulling up. Your people are gonna talk to you. Your people are gonna feel a certain way about you just because automatically you get some of the things that they go through. When you don't have that, it opens up so many different cans of worms.
You ain't lying about that.
When you're talking about West Side or East Atlanta, you're talking about neighborhoods that have gangs. You're talking about neighborhoods that have drugs readily accessible. I'm pretty sure most of us have grown up in neighborhoods where we can say the same.
Right.
Now the difference is when the cop drives by or sheriff or whoever drives by and see you, anybody from the neighborhood, they know the dope dealers from the dudes that look like a dope dealer but's a straight A student. They know the difference on a Friday or a Saturday afternoon, they know after you get off of work, you might want to do A, B, or C, and that's just the way things are done. And it's nothing disrespectful. But you take somebody outside of those neighborhoods, then what happens is a whole lot of misunderstanding. And I don't even think it matters, but I'm gonna say it just so I've said it one time. Um, because I do appreciate the law that the job that police officers do when they do it correctly. It's necessary. However, when a community is afraid of you and you don't understand them and you put them in the same boat everybody else does, that's a huge issue. And I personally believe that you can have some people that work inside a community that's not from that community, but
Right.
as part of their field training, as a part of their field training once they graduate the academy and they get to their agency, their department, I think part of their field training, not just getting familiar with the area, not getting familiar with call signs and things of that nature, but get familiar door to door. Get familiar
Right.
with athletes. Get familiar with the kids. That way, your job is easier, and you're building a relationship with the community that you're supposed to protect and serve.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes,
I,
indeed. Yes,
I
indeed.
agree. DK,
Uh,
with the
yeah, I
CEO.
agree. I noticed he said one thing about how people can lump you into the category. I deal with that. I deal with that too from my perspective. They will categorize you just like some people will say, oh yeah, he's a rapper, so he has to be a certain type of way. But now what I've learned is we, you, me, we have to change the perception of how people view us. Because don't get me wrong, it may be a stigma with police officers today. And you're
Right.
right, all police officers are not bad. Just like all hip hop rappers aren't just, popping pills and, here to poison our people. But we have to be the change to change that perception that because we know a lot of people didn't come for the same mission that we have.
Absolutely.
They don't have the same intentions that we have. And just to answer your question directly, yes, I do. I do believe that imagery. I don't know if I'm saying that word right. What people see,
Yeah.
what they can
Yeah.
relate to, plays a big part. It's very powerful. Just
Right.
like even with me being in the music industry, um, yes, I'm a teacher. I'm an activist. I help people. But one thing, people really gravitate to me, and the reason why they gravitate to me because they know I also lived it. I've been the pimp. I've been the person that's out there with the gang bangers. I've
Right.
been so when they see me and they see me on this high platform and I'm reaching out teaching people, they're not just saying, okay, he's just trying to talk to us from a third party. They know he experienced it and he can really speak for us. So when we see a black man that's a police officer that does, especially somebody that's standing for us, doing things in the right type of way, we feel like we can relate to him, just like we can relate to the President Obama, because he was a black person. Whether we agree with everything that he done, but that empowers us and let us know that we can be that. You see?
Absolutely.
So just to answer your question.
For me, for me, I truly feel that our people is needed within our community. Just because, just like Mr. Goodson said, we can relate to one another. We know each other. We commune with each other. Like you said, we can tell the difference between the gang members. We can tell the difference between the drug boys and just someone who just looks like a common thug. But really, like you said, a straight A student. But on the flip side of that, just like we need black police officers 80% in our neighborhood, we also need that 10% diversity as well. Because in black communities, we have black males that they think very negatively about police officers. So now when you got that 10% within your neighborhood, that good 10% that's actually trying to get to know the neighborhood dope boy, because believe it or not, y'all on this live, just because a dope boy sells dope, that don't mean he don't have a heart. That don't mean he don't have it up here.
I feel like we as people, we have to learn how to stop being so reactive and and response. Stop reacting and respond. See, we think we're taught that emotionalism. Don't get me wrong. My people are hurting. We all are hurting. Like we
Right,
all going through it. We're tired. My people are tired. But we gotta also understand how to educate ourselves on how to change laws. You know, we
right,
can do that because we got a voice. So it's time to change laws and not be reacting to something, but be responsive to something. Learn how to respond to something in an intelligent way because we've always don't get me wrong, protest is needed, marching is needed because what that does is that shines a light on certain situations, but it doesn't need to stop there. We get so caught up in the emotionalism. Hey, stand up, Black Lives Matter. This is beautiful, but a month later down the line, now it's all simmering down, and we go back to our own little lives. We're not trying to even educate ourselves on how to change laws, like I said before, or how to just continually, consistently, persistently stand up for the right cause. We're not thinking about building ourselves, our black communities. We're not holding some of these people of high platforms accountable that's in the black community. We're not
Yep.
doing a lot of things, but then we want to react only. We only want to react once it's already done. You know what I'm saying? So we gotta get away from this uh um see, society has taught us to be macho. The macho is how we should do things. To fight out in anger because the higher ups already know this is all a puppet game. This is all a grand scheme. They're looking up. They already know. They already know how we're going to react. They already know how we're going to okay, acting emotionalism because they know that that a lot of us, the majority of us, hasn't took the time out to really to really build our minds, to teach ourselves, to educate ourselves on how we can change things in a I guess a logical way that I'm trying to say.
Yeah, you right.
Um,
A logical
um,
way.
you said what?
I say you right. A logical way. You
Yes,
right about
indeed.
that.
And like I said, it's nothing. I'm not saying because I don't want people to think that I'm against what's going on. Uh, what right now with the looting and the rioting, because I understand. Because some people will say, "Man, you have no right to riot. You have no right to burn down buildings." But when you think about it, shit, we never really had rights unless they was reading us our rights. He didn't have the right to put his knee in George Floyd's neck. So let's not start
Yeah.
talking about rights and stuff because buildings can be repaired again. Houses can be repaired, businesses can be repaired again. But can George Floyd be repaired again? So don't sit up here and talk to me about, everybody's just doing the wrong thing. They're using this opportunity just to burn things because some people they are angry. They are ignorant to they don't know anything but anger. They don't know anything but anger. So at the end of the day, it's not that I'm saying I'm condoning it, but I can't say that I'm also against it. We just have to do the job of enlightening our people how to respond to things and not react to things.
Uh, it looked like our brother TKO. We already took it there. So we're gonna come up to come back down on the question.
Okay.
So
Um,
therefore he already he,
you touched on so many key points, and one thing I looking at this situation now, I know how my mom felt during the 80s when I would see unrest in LA and other places. I was a little kid, but I was enough. I knew enough to know that it wasn't right. I remember Rodney King in the aftermath. I remember watching it on TV. Here's the difference between the generation that's being a little violent right now. They're young, they're expressive, they don't know how to harness things that we've learned to process over decades. And sometimes that's a good thing because it wakes some of us up sometimes. And sometimes we can give them the right amount of wisdom. Wait a minute, this way is going to end like this. I understand the anger, the hurt, the pain. I understand it. Um, I wish I could impart into them that if you're going to burn something, I'm not advocating burning anything, but if you're going to burn something, why would you burn something that you own, something that profits you? This is just to give them if you're watching and you've been to a protest or you're about to go to a protest, just hear my logic. If you burn a church down in your neighborhood, you might upset some Christians, you might upset some members, but the powers that be, and may I be real here for a second,
man,
these
be really
niggas done burned
possible again.
down church.
Right?
Oh well.
Yeah, 100.
Now I'm not advocating burning, rioting, looting, any of that. However, if you're going to do that to get your point across, your point is falling on deaf ears when it's your property you're
I
destroying.
think the government, I think every police force is really gonna have to tighten up when it comes to their police officers. Because if they don't tighten up, our people, our people are gonna tighten the fuck up. And we already know we have some warriors in the neighborhoods, boy. And they're not playing that shit. So if we want to de-escalate a fire before this shit spread into a forest fire that we can't control, before this shit become a fucking race war, because it will come to that. We're gonna have to come in. The government gonna have to come in and really shake up the police department and really shake the bad apples out of the police department, because now this shit is not looking good. Now we sick and tired of being sick and tired seeing a young black man on national TV for the world to witness slaughtered right there in the middle of the street. That shit is fucking our mental up. So now we not trusting the police officer. Like you said, Mr. Goodson, you're a good police officer. That's the reason why you're a part of this platform. But the thing is, though, is a lot of them that's not.
Absolutely.
They pulling us over for traffic tickets, but they talking to us like we some fucking kids, like we beneath them. No, bro, you pull me over for a traffic ticket. Keep your emotions and your feelings in the car and watch your motherfucking mouth when you talk to me, because at the end of the day, I'm a grown man first. So when I'm a grown man first, I'm not gonna look at the badge no more. I'm gonna start looking at you as a grown man that disrespecting another grown man. And now shit escalates. But this is what happened when we start giving guns and badges to coward motherfuckers that have been abused in high school, and now they sit behind a badge and feel as if it's time for me to take it out on someone. So we have people within the police department that's trigger happy because they have been fucked over in high school. And then you have some that, come on, man, it's white supremacists all day, every day. The Klansmen just changed their profession. They doctors, lawyers, and all that shit now.
You mean good people, right? You mean good people?
Good people. Good people.
Just to piggyback off what you were saying, Steffon, about we need to tighten up if they don't start doing something about it. I feel like because we got warriors, we got people who's ready. It can be a right, but and I don't disagree with you on that. But what I want to add to that is say, man, we need to tighten up in many ways. We
Uh,
need to tighten up in many ways and wait,
No, I'm
like,
talking about
okay,
the I'm talking about the system. I'm talking about the system to sign up before it become a war, a race war.
right.
We don't want it to get there. But go ahead, go ahead, brother.
Right. Most definitely, most definitely. I'm just adding on to what you was already saying, because I know it's people looking at this, and the first thing they think about when it comes to fighting back is to fight back with anger and rage only. So I want to continue to implicate, because it's the younger crowd that we gotta I gotta pump this to. I gotta pump this to. We gotta tighten up, and the way we can tighten up many other ways. This is another thing that we can do. I can do, because I've felt this too. Is putting money into our own platforms, into our own businesses, into our own, like, one thing
Right?
that people don't understand this. I'm about to drop something on y'all. Y'all probably already understand this, but I'm just saying some people don't understand this. So we're trying to fight them back with anger. They don't care about nothing about that. The only way you
Right.
can get their attention is through money. Through money. Through
Money.
money. So
There you
if we can get
go.
their attention through money, have you ever thought about if we went on a strikeout, us, the Mexicans, the Native Americans, we take up $3.9 trillion.
Facts.
$3.9 trillion. So if
Not.
we tighten up with that, that'll get their attention. You
But you know
see?
what?
Hmm.
Us as black people, I know a lot of black people on here. They're not gonna want to hear this shit. But welcome to class. You don't have a choice but to hear it and log off. The one thing about us, we're not disciplined enough. Not all of us, but some of us not disciplined enough to actually start that movement. We don't understand how fucking brilliant and amazing we are. Just because we telling you to invest in your own worth by investing in your own skin, we not telling you that hate white people. We are telling you clean up your home first before you leave outside your home and clean up someone else's shit. So
Right.
what we are doing, we have black designers, black artists, black builders, black banks, and we would not invest in our fucking banks, but we are going to invest off in white-owned banks. They're going to turn your ass down when you come get a loan because of your credit score.
And I'm
And
guilty
white
of this
owned
too.
companies have the same credit score, and they'll
Yes.
give them a fucking loan.
Yes.
So therefore, you building up someone else's community instead of building up your fucking community. And then you wonder why we continue to perpetuate the same shit. While the white supremacist society sitting back like, we're gonna throw these niggas a bone. We're gonna let them chase their tail around that bone while we throw the ball over the head
Right.
every single time. And how we gonna throw them that ball? Let's perpetuate something fucked up through the media. Let's get them riled up. Let them go out there and just destroy everything that belongs to them. And guess who they got to bring that black dollar to now? Us.
Back then.
If they destroy their restaurant, guess who restaurants they got to come eat at now? Ours. If they burn up their supermarket, guess whose supermarket they got to come shop at now? Ours. And as long as that money continues to grow, as long as we don't have power when it comes to our spending and what we invest in, our white supremacist society will always have the upper hand on us. And that's one thing that white supremacists, they sit back and they cringe. If these niggas, and that's what they saying, if these niggas ever get a clue and understand how powerful they are when they are working together, we will be out of fucking business.
We got to start holding people accountable. If you want to see a change in the culture, it starts from the top down. And at a city level, your vote absolutely matters. It absolutely matters because
But do you think it really do matter though?
it
Yeah.
does. Because for this, that's why I'm saying on a small level.
Okay.
Because that mayor is responsible for the police chief. A mayor can relieve the police chief at any given time. Sheriff is an elected official, but the mayor can relieve a police chief at any given time. So if that mayor knows that his community is going to hold him accountable when policing goes awry in those neighborhoods and that police chief isn't handling that problem, it now becomes a mayor's problem. What most people don't know is the mayor has that authority. So unlike the president, next election day, which is a lot shorter, could be your last day. So are you going to be who you said you're going to be for us? Are you going to be our champion? Or are we going to hold you accountable and put somebody who is going to be that way in office? We allow politicians to give us food stamps. I remember when I first moved from Arizona, I went to South Carolina. I was there for about a month. And the Democratic president, I don't, it might not even been a presidential report, but a Democratic delegation came to my house and was talking to one of my nieces. And the first thing out of their mouth was this: we're going to make sure that Medicaid doesn't get cut and that EBT isn't cut.
Mm-hmm.
Me being the person I'm like, okay, what about schools? What about housing agenda? I mean, what about that? Those things are supposed to be temporary anyway. What are you gonna do that can sustain a person? We're not asking for loaves of bread. What education are you gonna? And they looked at me like, oh, I wasn't prepared to answer that question. Why? Because they go out with preconceived notions that this community wants this and this is what we're gonna give them, and we never on
But
a lower level, we never like, no, this is what we want. This is,
We
and
don't
we have that vote power,
challenge it. We don't challenge them. You
right?
fact,
know, they're not to pacify us.
And, and
fact.
we and we and we need to grab that voice because, like you said, we have been pacified. They'll take watch. Mark my words. They're going to be a handful of black police officers, black police chiefs throughout the country in areas where maybe they don't deserve the job, but they're trying to hold a certain appearance. They're being placed at a table because now, well, when we got President Obama, there's a lot of black people like, well, we got a black president now. It's gonna be better. Ain't nothing changed.
That's all they see. That's all they
Ain't
see is the
nothing
city.
changed. Smoke and mirrors.
Mm.
And we got to get past that.
Okay,
See, go ahead,
no,
Steffon.
it's on you, TK.
Okay.
I'll come out to you.
Okay. See, I want to go all the way back into when you first started conversating and talking about, the mayors and things of that nature. Like, I always think, I'm not a big person that's on conspiracy and try to, oh, what happened to him? I don't see him no more. Is he still
No,
here?
no, good. I got it.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
One thing I don't know if we really do have a voice and a choice, even with our vote. Because I think that everybody's playing on the same team. Because even to get up to that level as a mayor or governor, you got to be selected by certain people. Even to get that job, but that's just my opinion. I believe that it's a greater scheme. I believe that the powers that be, they control everything. They control the colleges. They control who's going to get their when you go to law school. You know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Bar.
Yeah. Who's going to pass the like. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying this from a position to where I'm telling my people subliminally not to fight and not to try to be somebody, because I don't want to mix that up either. Yeah, if you feel like you can be somebody, be it. Go to school for it. You can be in the law, you can be a judge, you can be a police officer. But what I'm saying, when it comes to like the presidents, like Obama, when it comes to certain mayors and governors, I just believe that everything is handpicked. Honestly, that's just my opinion. I just believe that everything is handpicked. I believe that they're playing on the same team.
But you know what? I'm with TK on that. They all play on the same team. A lot of them.
And
But
I think that's right, and it probably happens in a lot. Here's like I've always been a little radical. I've always bucked the system from high school to now. And one thing that conditioning is so it's so ingrained in us that sometimes we don't even realize how it is. Now, I'm gonna ask a rhetorical question. President Obama's first term, who did you guys vote for? I don't even gotta ask you.
I
I
didn't vote for his ass.
You didn't look, I ain't gonna lie. I did for one reason and one reason only. In my mind, I was like, it really probably ain't gonna matter. However, for us to be at a place where we can have a black president, I'm voting for it. I didn't agree with most of his policies, but I voted for him anyway.
Right.
Man, I would root for him. I'm not gonna lie. I would root for him.
Right.
But I'm sitting back when I listened to the way he was speaking and shit. I just looked at another house nigga just put in a big white house. They're not gonna do nothing for the people
Okay,
at
so
all.
so,
So
so
that's how I looked at it. I'm just gonna keep it 100. You
and
dig?
I agree with you. But this is the reason why I asked that question. How private is your vote really? I mean, is that really a private issue? I mean, are we so scared of how we believe that we can't tell somebody we align with a certain person? So, but what I say that to say this: when a person votes, 9 times out of 10 they keep their vote to themselves. So now things can be slightly manipulated because nobody's really talking about who they voted for until all of us voted, and I don't think that many people voted for that dude. How did he win? I would have no problem walking up into the voting booth with my camera out, video me voting for a certain person. So at the end of the day, you can't say that this person won.
Okay, just to piggyback on what you just said just then. A lot of people on here, they probably voted for Obama. And they probably be like, oh, you the first black president. Correction, my guy. Yes, you are right. You the first black president. But when just like this shit going down on Trump watch, think about how many incidents went down on motherfucking Obama watch. How many times you saw the president of the United States go out there to mend people back together? Like go out there in the streets, go out there like, look, man, shit's gonna be all right. I'm gonna make sure things are all right. Not change the system because he's black, but
Right.
change the system because of righteousness, what's
Right.
right. So therefore, think about us three. Think about how watching Floyd made us feel. Think about all the things that we had to endure as a black man just dealing with the system, a broken ass system. So imagine if one of us became president. Imagine if we would have saw Floyd and we was in office right now. Imagine our reaction. Imagine how we would have really started changing things to make sure people are held accountable for fucking murder. No matter the badge, no matter your title, nothing. You are going to be held accountable for what you did. But Obama did not pass a law, and police have been doing this shit for a long time. It wasn't no law passed and say, you know what? Your ass is gonna go up under that same knife as
But
a hood kid that y'all look at as a thug. You
here's
want
the
to get the
thing.
same jewelry
But here's
as he get.
but here's the thing, Steffon. The way most states statutes and codes and laws are written, police officers or law enforcement is held at a higher level of accountability than the typical civilian.
Right. Right.
So it shouldn't even be an issue. That somewhere between the law, now some executive order enforcing a law that's already on the books, maybe that, but the way it's currently written, for when I had a badge and I was in uniform, the the for
You know
me,
what, brother? Let me pick it back off what you just said.
okay,
What you said was right. What you just said.
right.
Okay, now think about this. What you just said. Okay, if police officers are held to a high standard, when you think of a doctor, how long do you think a doctor needs to go to school? About
It depends. Anywhere from 8 to 12,
12
sometimes.
years. When you're talking about a lawyer, how long you have to be in school? Around about 6, 7 years. All of these are people that deal with people's lives. Either they're
I
going
know
to
where
save
you.
a life or
I
they're
know
going
where
to
you.
cause a life. Now
I see
think
where you're
about the
going.
police
I see where you're
officers
going.
that's on the force right now.
Mhm.
How long they have to be in training before they are police officers? A few months. So you telling me a person that have to interact with lives that's different from them and also save a life that's different from them and protect a life and maybe have to take a life making judgment on the fly when it comes to a human life, have to fucking be off in the be training for a few months, and then you given a badge and a gun, and now you placed at a higher standard, and now you can dictate to be God and tell me my life is valuable. If my life is not valuable, I decide that you decide that I live, or you decide that I die. Come on, bro,
And,
you gotta put the fuckery
and,
in that.
and no, and this is the response to that. What we're seeing and the reason for all the murders, that's what I'm gonna call them. I'm not gonna call police officer killing of unarmed black men. No, there's some of them that fall under that category, but the ones that we all have been pissed off with over the last decade has been murders. When you take that into account, I'm gonna be 100% on. This is my 100% opinion, but I've been around. You know, like I'm a combat vet. I've had to pull my trigger, and I'm pretty sure I'm good enough shot that I've hit several people in war. Different scenario, but even then, when it's them or you, literally, it's not an easy thing to do. The frequency that we're seeing these things happen, it isn't a lack of law enforcement training. It's a lack of respect for human life. I've gone through the academy. The academy can't teach you much more than what they do when they put you on the street. Like there's literally so many different scenarios that they can't put you through. The one of the things that, if anything, that absolutely should be added is some type of cultural awareness classes in each academy. So when you go to a neighborhood, because I guarantee you, we know they know how to act. When I've been watching a couple videos. I watched a video in Jersey. A white guy had a Glock 23 in the middle of the street. 6 police officers responded. There's people all in the backgrounds like, yo, shoot him. Yo, pop that. If he was black, he'd have been dead. This dude raised his guns 3 times before they opened fire on him. Right?
Right?
Let's go to New York. You remember the Arabic dude that opened fire, shot over 29 times. I mean, hit 26, injured 26,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
and he went out on a gurney.
yeah.
Let's go to here in Georgia. About 2, 3 years ago, 2 white inmates, broke out of jail, killed 2 detention officers, then went across state lines and got caught in Tennessee. They came back alive. Dylan Roof, they drive him through Burger King. In South Carolina, in Florence last year, a sheriff deputy, black guy, ends up getting killed by a white guy in an apartment who they were serving a warrant on, and this guy still goes in cuffs. So you can't tell me that you don't know how to properly do it. Problem is, you as an individual, you pick and choose who you're going to show and give value to their life. That's the problem. And I don't know if there's a psyche valve that can identify certain precursors that say you might lean
I'm
to
sure
the left or lean to the right. But those are the things that need to be changed. Because, like I said, going back to that mayor appointing the police chief is the last person in line to say, okay, yeah, hire that guy.
Well, I tell you what, we're gonna give Mr. TKO the flow real quick.
What I want to say is, I always have to be honest and agree if somebody makes a point, and you make a very valuable point. I'm gonna use the analogy of, just like with me in my life, when I meet a woman, and no matter how good I am to her, no matter how much of I'm a king, and all these good things, I can't teach loyalty. If it's in you to be disloyal, then you're going to be disloyal. So to piggyback off of what you're saying, you're basically saying, yeah, when it comes to training and all the things about training an officer, if it's in you to be a certain type of way deep down, ain't no type of training going. I get it. I get it. I didn't look at it from that perspective. So that's why I like both. I see both ends. I see Steffon's end and I see your end when it comes to that. Some people just really got a personal vendetta, no matter what. No matter what.
And to speak to Steffon, what the sheriff's departments do a lot more of that type thing than the police department, because a lot of sheriff departments require that before you ever get in a patrol car, you work in the jail for a year after the academy and everything else. And then you have 5 to 10 more additional weeks of training while you're in the car. But when it comes to the very bare basics, do you value people?
Right.
And that you either got it or you don't.
Right.
And and we're seeing that there's countless people wearing a badge and a uniform that could care less about life
Well,
unless
why
it's
police? Oh, go ahead.
I was just saying unless it's theirs.
Oh, yeah, you right about that. Why do it seem like the most aggressive police officers always use that term, stop resisting, when people not even resisting? And it seemed like every time they say stop resisting, this shit about to get ugly. He about to throw some blows. He about to shoot, or he trying to do something. It's like they already perpetuating the situation for the situation to get out of hand.
Couple different reasons. One, fear. Well, let me take number one off the table. Just the first one is I won't call it a knee jerk reaction, but you're told, we're taught that when you, and this doesn't apply to everybody. In most of the cases that you're referring to, what them saying stop resisting doesn't really apply because there wasn't any resisting. But we're taught to make sure we're audible so they can hear us, our backup can hear us. Just we're taught when it actually is happening. Now your backup knows, well, instead of me walking over here, let me hurry up and get to you. But what happens is fear comes in, and then you got people who are just bigots. So you take the fear aspect first.
Mm.
One of the things that always happened, going back to one of the things that we talked about when we first started, was if people know the community that they're policing, a certain level of fear is out. When you're dealing with certain people, it's just a kid that's always at the court. He talk around his friends because that's what he do, but he a good kid at heart. You know that. But if you don't know the community, you might be scared of the 5'8" black dude that's 14 with dreads that you thought was fit the description of somebody who just stole a car 3 blocks over. Completely 2 different people. But because you don't know, you don't care to know. And there's some police officers, they're dinosaurs. And when I say dinosaurs, they're culturally ignorant. Not racist, not bigots. They just don't understand a 19-year-old's life. They don't understand a 19-year-old's lingo. And then you got some that's like, oh, you one of them. Profiling, whether you're black, white, or whatever, is a part of the job, but it's a responsibility that each individual officer that's doing it. I profiled when I was a cop. If I saw a white person in a certain neighborhood of the first area that I worked in, and there's only one white person lived in that neighborhood, because I've been through there, walked through there several times, and you don't see a lot of white traffic in, okay, I might look at this person up. Let me see if they're doing anything illegal. Let me see if there's a reason for me to pull them over to have a conversation with why you're here, because I know this neighborhood and you're normally not a part of this neighborhood. That's part of profiling, and it's effective. Now, if I take that and I run with it, and I don't put two and two, I don't put one and one together, and I'm just in anybody who fits a profile, then I'm irresponsible. But this is what happens. People are afraid of black men. They're black police officers afraid of black men. We're being real on this panel. There's some black police officers that are my neighbor, 30-year-old kid, 5'6", 5'7", 115 pounds. Right?
Mhm.
I was already off the force, but he came and talked to me. He was like, the sheriff department pulled me over. They said I had a busted tail light and I made an illegal left turn. He made an illegal left turn. He knew his driver's license number, and another cop, mind you, four sheriffs, and 3 of them black, 1 of them was white. One of the black guys walked up and said, lock his ass up. Just got there, didn't know what he did, didn't know anything about him, wasn't around for any conversation. That was the first thing out of his mouth.
That because the simple fact is, you always, and people always get mad when I say this. And one thing about me, I'm not racist. I look at a man's character. So when I speak, I'm just speaking facts.
Right.
What I have experienced, So understand, white people, if you're on here, it ain't no racism on here. I guarantee you. But we're gonna speak facts. And some of you, y'all don't do too well with facts, But the reason why is this here. A house nigga. He wants to get the validation of massa. That's how he want to use his own people to move up the fucking food chain. I hate a shiesty ass black man over a racist any day.
But you want to know what the funny part about this is, Steffon? The county sheriff is black.
Man, hey,
No, and this is just to the point. The conditioning that we've gone through,
you next, brother.
okay. The conditioning we've had so long puts us in a place to where if you're not an individual that's comfortable in your own skin, you will do whatever it takes to impress the next person.
Right. And let me add to that. That was real what both of you guys are saying, but I want to piggyback off of what Steffon said about the house nigga. I'm gonna take it one step even deeper. It's 2 types of. You see, we only say the house nigga and the field nigga, but it's 2 type of field niggas and it's 2 type of house niggas. Let me explain. You got the field nigga that wants freedom. He wants to get away. He wants to get it. He's out here working this field. He's tired of it. He's angry. And just think about everything that's going on today. He's tired of it. He's angry. He just want to get away. And then you got the second field nigga. This is like, you know what? This is my condition. I'm here just as long as I got food to eat. I know I'm a field nigga, but man, this life, the slave mentality, right?
Yep.
Then we got the 2 house niggas. We got one house nigga where, oh, master, just like what Steffon said, oh, master, whatever master want, and I want to do all this so I can get a ribbon, I can get an apple, like the teacher's pet. But then, this is where you got to use this discernment. Then you got the house nigga that's only in the house because he knew he infiltrated, but he wanted to help the field niggas.
Yep.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So you got people from different angles, and those with discernment. See, it's gonna take discernment to understand what's the difference and distinguish the difference between the two. Because even in my line of duty, or what I do with my music, some people can look at me, and even when I'm into I'm looking to grow to politics and to activism, to where I'm probably sitting down with the president, and they may look at me like, oh, he's a house nigga now, but which one? Which one? And I'm not. And this is an analogy. I'm not calling myself a house nigga, period.
Yeah.
But I'm
Understand.
using an analogy. Like I can use my platform to free the field niggas. You feel what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And with him being a police officer that's black, we can look at him just like a house nigga. But which one?
Which one?
He
Hey,
using his platform to free. Come on, man.
man, that's the hard part.
That it's like trying to figure out Samuel L. Jackson's character on Django versus Uncle Tom. I hate when people use Uncle Tom because they use him out of context. They
Right.
call the
They do.
typical Uncle Tom what we consider a house nigga.
Right.
Uncle Tom was the one who ended up dying protecting other slaves.
Yeah, he did.
They went to freedom.
You
And
got me. You got
Samuel
me.
L's character from Django was like, nah, he got a wife in here. Nah, that so you gotta be able to tell the difference.
Yep.
And the ones that you're talking about, we're looking at a generation right now that's out that it is tearing some stuff up. That's cool to Kente.
Now you know what?
You've taken me out of Africa. Yeah, you've taken me out of Africa, but I'm supposed to be a king. I'm supposed to be free. I ain't supposed to be held down. And by any means necessary, I'm getting the freedom. You catch me, you beat me, I'm still going. Oh, you got to cut my foot off now? I'm still going.
To piggyback off what you said, now we're going to get into our community right now. Now, getting into our community, what's going on in Nebraska right now is that it's a lot of looting going on. I'm pretty sure it's in a lot of states. I've been watching news in a lot of states. But now people are protesting freely, and they are protesting in a respectful way. But now that respectful way have turned into killings, have turned into a lot of looting, a lot of rioting, businesses being burnt, businesses being windows busted out, and things of that nature. So now we are living in that time now that it's like we are actually perpetuating an exact stereotype that the white supremacist society is trying to perpetuate for black men and women. Oh, they just animals. They animals. They not even gonna take care of their own house that they lay in. They're gonna shit and piss over their own house. That's how stupid and ignorant they are. So this what the white supremacist society is doing. They sit back and they fucking laughing at us because young black men, they don't understand how to channel their emotions in a positive way because we don't have strong leaders the way we should have strong leaders to be out there like, no, young black man, this ain't the way to do it. This not the way to do it. You burn down that coffee shop there, you're going to be taking your ass uptown using the coffee shop over there. And then if they turn you down, then you want to say they racist. But you had a perfectly good coffee shop right here in the neighborhood. We truly need as leaders to start standing in the forefront and letting the young generation, when I mean the young generation, the ones that 18, 19, 20, the one out there really fucking up something, bro, we can't do that. We can't do that. It's a better way. We really have to start showing them a better way. On you, TK, what you have to say?
Right. And I know I probably don't have I have an unpopular opinion right now when it comes to the panel when I say this, but I just got to be real. I think we need a little bit of both. I think when it comes down to the protesting and burning and looting, like don't take this out of context. Who's ever looking at this? I'm not saying that. Oh yes, this is great to do this. But have you ever seen that dog? That little mangy dog. They just kept on hitting that dog. Just kept on hitting the dog. Just hit him. And then finally the dog just snapped back. That's what we've been going through for so many generations.
All
Don't get
right.
me wrong. Don't get me wrong. Yes, is it if yes, do we need? I mean, people those are destroyed for their lack of knowledge. So we need to have we're ignorant to change the laws. We don't have no leaders teaching us certain things, and that's why we got to be the change, and we
That's what
got to
I'm
stand up and do our
exactly
part.
what I'm saying.
But
Yep.
what I'm saying at the end of the day, I think, especially off of today, let's just think about it. We just seen Rodney King. We just seen all these. We talk Malcolm X, Martin Luther King. We just seen even from the Trayvon Martin thing. We just seen all these protesters, all these riots, but nothing more like historical like the ones we going into right now. And I would think, even if it doesn't change something, but I would think the next time they're gonna be thinking about this time before they do something to us again. I think that this protest, that this times and the things that we're doing, even though it's out of anger, I think that this time will leave a stain on their brain because we're really barking back. We're not just barking back. We're biting now. We're
But you know
biting.
what?
Go ahead.
To piggyback off what you just said, before I give it to Mr. Goodson,
Mm,
is that I understand that we biting back.
mm.
But the thing is, though, we biting back at the wrong in the wrong way. What I mean by that is this here. If I'm feeding, if I have a dog and I've been good to my dog and I'm feeding his ass, but yet the next door neighbor is beating him. Instead of him biting the next door neighbor, he fucking biting me. I'm like, hold on, my guy, I'm feeding you. So that's what we're doing. We are biting the hand that feed us. The community that's actually feeding us, the community that's actually lifting us up and supplying jobs to us. Now we are starting to destroy the things that is a part of us, the things that's not going to discriminate against us, the things that are going to give us jobs within our own community, all the things that we need. Come on, how many of us then walk to the corner store, right across the corner store, they know your name? Take your ass to Walmart. See how many people know your name in Walmart. Go to the Walmart and Target and see how many see how many undercover officers following your ass around Walmart. But when you're in a black neighborhood, they know you. They know your name. Okay, they go they go Mr. Dewayne. They go TKO. Hey, what's up with you? You know what I'm saying? They know you. But we destroying every single thing that truly ties to us.
One thing I do want to say about them, and maybe I'm watching the wrong television because I do see when they riot, and once again, I'm not condoning, but when they're rioting and looting, what I've been seeing, especially like in LA and other places, they've been going downtown. They've been going to certain businesses and things of that nature to where it wasn't in the community, the black community. But look where I'm going with this. Yes, let's just say they burned down a church's chicken in our black neighborhood and things that's maybe in our black neighborhoods. At the end of the day, they're not from this is just me my disagreement, just to agree. You know, we don't always gotta agree on everything. My point is this: we're not burning anything that we own. We're not burning down our businesses. You know, we're not burning down any like yeah, they may give us jobs, but we're burning down their establishments. They give us a job. Now we need to get to a point to where we own our own business, build our own business, have our own land, and then if we burn it down, now we're self-destruction. But right now, I don't feel like
Continue
we're really
going.
self-destructing. It's just an opinion. It's just my opinion. You know, I don't feel
No,
like
I hear what you're saying. I hear
yeah.
what you're saying. I truly hear what you're saying.
Yeah, I don't feel like it's self destruction at this level. I just feel like it's just a lot of anger, and I don't want it to continue to go on or anything like that. I just think that we need a little bit of both, but we need even more education and gaining knowledge on how to fight back in a way that's actually going to be sustainable. See, this right now, see, emotions come and go, anger come and go, and things like that. But what are we going to be doing behind the scenes consistently to change the laws and to change, really get the knowledge on how to climb up and have our own communities and things of that nature. That's what I'm aiming for. So I do feel
With racist ass law enforcement, trigger happy law enforcement within the police system, and now our people rioting and looting within our community and also outside of our community. Now it's time to give this what is the actual solution to everything. And we're going to start with TK on that one. What is the actual solution? Every male on here is going to give a solution with the looting, with the rioting, and with the hurt that our people are going through at this very moment. What is the solution to it?
Okay, you can never say it can never be one answer to that. It's a lot of things that factor into it. Kind of like what I've been saying all night. One things that we have to do is, we have to start putting, we have to start educating ourselves on. All right, it's a man named Andre Taylor that I watch. I call him my big bro. Um, he's a reform pimp, and he's into activism. A great man. He's out there on the front line all the time. His brother got killed. His brother named Shay Taylor got killed in Seattle by a police officer. And what he does is, he's really pushing the line by, getting signatures to change the law and doing things of that nature. That's one factor. Two factors is we have to be able, like I said, the higher ups, the powers that be, the only way to get their attention is by money. It's not about anger or fighting back or looting things. It's about money. So if we stop giving them our dollars, that's another way. So these are just examples. I just think it's several things that we can do, and it all got to factor into and together. That's the way that, and it all makes one solution, if that makes sense.
Makes sense. It makes sense. Uh, Officer Dewayne.
Um, Couple things come to mind. I mean, one, it's hard to change a system with people who make that system up. And the human aspect of law enforcement is the saving grace and the detriment of law enforcement. Because everybody that put on that uniform got their own individual feelings. Not everybody care about being a police officer. Not everybody care about protecting the people that can't protect themselves. Some people it's a status quo. Some people it's family tradition, it's prestige. There has to be a way of better vetting personalities because that's what we're dealing with right now. We're dealing with personalities. I don't think that people are broken. I don't think it's so much as the system. If everything in the system is implemented unequivocally on any violator the exact same way, period, then we wouldn't have an issue. But the problem is we can watch Floyd be murdered, and if this was in the hood, if this was if this was Ray Ray Jr. and they two cousins that did this, they would be paraded across the news camera. They'd be given a perk walk. They'd be already they'd already be charged, already arraigned, waiting on a trial date probably. Unless you're gonna give that, I mean, my thing is no cop, investigation, no investigation. It doesn't take much. Every single law that any state has, go to when you get a chance, look up Nebraska state statutes and codes. Look up whatever state you're from, statutes and codes. It'll pull up a PDF probably of that state's law, what police supposed to live by and govern themselves by. In that, you'll find the way police officers are supposed to govern themselves. Because not only should they all be charged with murder or accessory to murder, but they're going to be probably associated with violation of oath of office, which is a felony. When I said that we're held to a higher standard, it's in laws already, that standard that we're supposed to be held to. Now the
Mhm.
problem is not all of us are held to that standard, and that's the human effect. If if you got a judge who grew up in the '60s in a white ran town, what do you think his And this is speculation because I have met onesies and twosies, but I've met people who are the complete opposite of who you would think they are. But at the heart of it, do you think he's going to give a crap about giving you a chance? One thing I learned when I was doing my field training, after I graduated the academy, before I was on my own, I still had 10 weeks of training, 5 days and 5 weeks at night. The officer that was training me, he taught me, he said that on about 80% of everything you do, you have discretion, which means I have the ability to say, sir, yeah, you're driving without a license. And yes, I can arrest you and have your car towed. But I'm going to have you park this vehicle. I'm going to write you a ticket. Do you got anybody who can come pick it up? I'm not going to let you drive. That's discretion. Now, the difference between those two scenarios is one, you go getting arrested, you're going to jail, you might have to pay a bail bondman, and you got to pay the tow company because your car gone. The other one is I still enforce the law. In the middle of me enforcing the law, I've given you a new perspective of what law enforcement can be. And that type of behavior from a law enforcement point of view, it starts to change a relationship. But most cops aren't like that.
For people who don't know, I'm from Tulsa, Oklahoma. And if y'all know anything about Tulsa, Oklahoma, uh, coincidentally, even though I don't believe in coincidence, today's the 99th anniversary of the 1921 race riot, when there was a lot of looting and burning down the city. I want to make sure that we're not just so focusing in on the police brutality or the police killing a black man, because we need to understand, with me being a part of the system, going to prison, going through things I've been through as an innocent man, facing life when they knew I didn't do the crime. It's a bigger thing that we gotta fight. That's why I said it's many factors on how to fight it, on how to bring the solution. But at the same time, let's not put all the emphasis on just trying to get better police officers and things like that. We got to know how to fight the system. The system is what's corrupted. Way bigger. The system controls the police. The system controls the judges. These prisons. We got to focus on the bigger picture. Don't let these people throw out the propaganda and make us only look at the small details, because they're controlling the narrative that way. We have to control the narrative. We have to see the bigger picture and broaden the perspective on what's really going on. Yes, we just got to look at the bigger picture. Of course, we got to try to, change laws and get bigger, shine a light on these crooked cops. But we got to look at this crooked system as a whole. This crooked system is what's poison. Like, it's so many people. Like, listen, what's this? Okay, so now what was his name? What was the officer's name that got third-degree murder? Just got charged. Chauvin. How you pronounce his name?
I
The dude who.
I don't I refuse this. I refuse to even.
Okay.
I read his name once.
All right. So check this out. So we just know he's got charged, right? So even when he goes to prison and he goes to jail, whatever he ends up with, okay, yeah, okay. But how many deaths? How many lives did the system take?
A lot.
Look at what the cops are doing. Okay, yeah, we need to take care of that. But how many more? Every day, every second, the system is wiping us all away, hanging us over. I know some people from the 90s right now from Tulsa, Oklahoma, that's doing life over a gram of weed. Over a gram of weed. The system. But then I know some child molesters that's had sex with 2-year-old babies. That's free on probation, and all they got is sexual predator, and they got to stay. Come on now. When would that ever make sense?
Never.
Because this man is over here and he's white and he got money. Or he may have some links to the judge. We got to look at the bigger picture, and we got to know how to attack and fight that. That's all I wanted to say.
All right. Now coming off of what both of you said, and y'all had some great solutions, and y'all spoke y'all truth. And that's one thing I truly appreciate. And the thing for me, just piggybacking on what both of you said. And TK, you said something about the system, and man, you 100% right. 100% right. But what black people need to understand, black and brown people need to understand, we are the system. And the reason why I say that, we have woven the very flag that hang over America. We woven that shit with our blood. The same foundation that we are standing on, the same foundation that this white supremacist has built for us to fail, it's the same foundation that we have created, not the system, not the supremacist system. I'm talking about America. America was built on our backs. So think about this. If we are able and we are so intelligent and fearless enough to actually build something that's supposed to be so beautiful before it was corrupt, imagine what the fuck we can build if we put our heads together. Imagine the actual system outside of the system that we can actually build to protect one another. So for me, I truly have that much faith in our black men and our black women that, man, if we ever sit back and get it together, if we ever sit back and understand our worth, we would do some of the most amazing shit that this world have ever laid their eyes on. This same black skinned rat here built the pyramids without any heavy machinery at all. I want people to think about that. Something so massive that even when the white men came off pretty much in Africa, they said the gods built it. And then when they realized that it were black people built them, they shot the nose and the lips off them, for the world would never ever know that we was able to do something so beautiful and so massive and unique. We are still those same people. Our ancestors still live in us. But what we have went wrong at, we have allowed worldly shit to actually deteriorate our true ability to actually create, to actually enhance other lives around us. We have gotten lost within the actual man-made system that white supremacists have put right there on the platter for us. So back in slavery days, the master used to feed us the leftovers from the table. And now the white supremacist society is doing the same shit now. Only thing they're doing is giving y'all leftovers. Oh yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead, dog. Here come a ball. Go ahead and jump for us. But we're gonna own the team. Go ahead, rap for us. But we're gonna own the label. So we gotta realize what our worth is. And how we start learning what our worth is, we have to start loving one another, man. We not loving one another the way our mothers loved each other back in the days when they really had to lean on one another. Now in the cities, we killing each other. We need each other more than ever. And in the inner cities, we are killing each other. We're killing each other over lyrics. We're killing each other over red and black, red rags, blue rags. We're killing each other, man. I saw a dude got shot in the head over $10. I've seen that with my own eyes. $10. So a lot of shit we can sit back and we can say the white man this, the white man that. They don't want us to do that. They don't want to do that. Shit, we don't want ourselves to get ahead because we got that crab in the bucket mentality, whether motherfuckers like it or not. Think about this shit. A person can do some of the most fucked up shit on a video, and they will share that shit 100 times. A person can act just like a buffoon on a video, and they'll share it 100 times. But TKO will come, Mr. Dewayne will come and give you some shit that you can stand on for the rest of your life. And that shit might be shared motherfucking about 10 times. That's how we've been conditioned. But a white woman can come with a cooking show, some of the worst food ever. Them white peers of hers shared that motherfucker damn near 1 million times. Miss Stewart, to be exact, ended up being one of the biggest cooking shows in America and one of the worst ones. Because the thing is, though, they looking out for one another. And black people and white people that's on here, white people, just because we saying we should invest in ourselves, that don't mean that we are racist. That means that, man, it's time for to put our people first, and before we invest in any other race first. We got to get ourselves together first before we start focusing on any other race too. We know that there's some great white people out there. We not naive to that on this platform. We get it. And like Officer Dewayne said, we appreciate you all from being here for us. We love you from being here for us. But please, don't tell me that you are fucking good when you see some unjust shit go on and you turn the other cheek because you don't want to speak out because you understand that your white privilege will be damaged behind that shit. So therefore, if you with for us, then stand for us. Beat up for us. That for me, that's good white people for me. And stop making every fucking thing about you all. Everything is not about you all. If we angry at the people, that don't mean that we mad at y'all. We don't want to hear white lives matter. All lives matter. What we want to hear is this here. Black people are going through a lot of shit right now. They've been going through shit for centuries. They deserve a fucking break. So when you say all lives matter, what lives are you talking about? Because the last time I checked for century, black lives didn't mean shit. So when you say all lives, you damn sure ain't saying black lives. That's for sure. So stop saying all lives matter when it's obvious that your life is not being affected. It's ours. So when we say black lives matter, that's what we're saying. And black people, we got to stop being so sensitive. Please stop being so sensitive about everything. If a white man call you a nigga, who give a damn? You know your worth. You know your worth. So you should not, like Officer Dewayne said, you should not have to react a certain way that would cause you a lifetime of pain 2, 3, 4 years from now. Know your worth, man. Start working together as a people. Start investing in your own communities. Start investing in your own banks. I can't keep reiterating that shit. We have to start looking out for our people first. How in the hell? It's like a girlfriend. A girlfriend can't come and tell me that she loves me. How the fuck can you love me and you don't even love yourself? You can't say you see my worth in me when you don't even see the worth in you. So how do you see worth when you don't even fucking know worth? So start seeing the worth within this black skin right here. And when you start seeing the worth within this black skin and you start loving this black skin right here, then it's going to be people on the outside world going to start loving and seeing the worth within us too. But when we out there acting like fucking clowns and buffoons, that's how the world is gonna view us, because we already got a white supremacist society that's already painting that bullseye on our fucking back that this how we are. Ignorant, lazy, and not bright and smart. And we are so much motherfucking more than that. So let's start acting exactly what we are capable of being. Let's start being kings. Let's have a king and queen mentality. And let's be a light for one another. Let's pass that torch on to one another and burn that torch even brighter. And eventually, when you start holding back your finances, I guarantee you, this white supremacist society, they gotta listen. They gotta put you at the table, because now their finances is being affected. We spend more money in this nation than any white person, period. Us, the black dollar is the most powerful fucking dollar in America. You retract that shit, America have a problem. Start investing in yourself, man.
That's the blacks, that's the Mexicans, that's the, and the Native Americans all together. You know what I'm saying? Because, one thing I do want to say, we're having a psychological war that's going on too. It's even deeper than just saying, us having our own things because we black. But at the end of the day, we're not. It's a whole nother subject. I'm not gonna go too deep, but we're not even black. We're not even African American. We don't even know that they gave us that, because what black mean is dead. The word black mean is dead, and so we psychologically know that. We psychologically man, it gets deep. It gets deep. But that's a whole nother story. But yeah, we do have to start with us, and we got to also start calling out. We got it's people who who's really good with their words is in the black community. You know, they paint themselves as activists. They know the etymology. They know how to speak, elaborate with terms and get people caught up in emotionalism and everybody, yeah. But what are their
And
works?
all the time, boy.
What are their works, though? We got to start holding people accountable. What are their
Hey,
works?
but you know what? You know what, TK? They'll look at us. They'll look at me they'll look at me that I curse. They'll look at you because you're a rapper. They'll look at Mr. Dewayne. Not saying he drank. I don't know that he drank or not. But they'll look at him that he drank and be like, they not leaders. But they'll follow a fucking wolf. They'll follow a wolf down the fucking cliff. Don't even know it because he
Look,
speaks to
he got his bandana on and some chains around his neck. I know. We ain't
man.
gonna look how he look.
Can I jump in real quick?
Go ahead, go ahead.
I want to address a certain demographic, and in this larger demographic, there's a couple sub demographics. But if you consider yourself a conservative and you're watching this, 9 times out of 10 in America, whether you're black, white, whatever, generally means you're a Christian. And I'm a Christian. And I want to make something painstakingly clear. If you are a Christian, if you are a Christian with a title, i.e., pastor, minister, deacon, elder, evangelist, bishop, apostle, prophet, whatever it is, do not hide behind misinterpretations of the Bible and not speak out against evil right now,
Man,
because you are implicit. I don't care how many times you read it. I don't care what version you use. I don't care if you know Greek and Hebrew and read it in the original. If you read the book, it will tell you that what's going on right now, you are supposed to be a change. Salt of the earth, light of the world.
well, I'll tell you what. Well, you said a mouthful right there. So each one of us gonna give two words. And my first word that I'm gonna give to the people is love yourself and know your worth. Okay. What about you?
That's my main. That's my two. Those are my two too.
We
Well,
on
you
the
know
same
what?
page.
Let me go ahead and switch it around a little bit. Figure out who you are. You know, figure out who you are and figure out what love is. Because we can say love and people don't even know what love is. So just figure out who you are and figure out who love is. And God is love. So that's like saying figure out,
Mm-hmm.
knowing your connection to God.
Absolutely. I would say put value back in people, and you do that through loving people. And if you don't know how to love somebody, you got to get to know them, understand. And the second one is, if we're gonna get better ever, then we got to start putting value into the lives of everybody. If you're gonna say all lives matter, then truly make that the truth. So when a section they're living in despair, and and everything seems to be stacked against them, if all lives matter, make that mean something.
Right.
Make that mean something.
Yes.
Well, man, that was hey, that was a lie full of information.
Yeah.
And I just truly want to thank y'all two brothers, strong brothers, leaders. I want to thank you all for gracing the platform with your presence and everything. And I'm gonna let y'all give y'all a shout out to whoever y'all want to give y'all a shout out, and then we closing it up. And we're gonna start with Mr. TK. What Mr. TK? Oh,
Yes,
okay.
yes, indeed. First of all, thank you for even, asking me to come on this panel to be a part of this. This is where my passion, this is where my heart is. I love music, I love acting, but it's nothing more that I love more than reaching the people, and helping our people. I, I, I live and die. And I feel like with anything that you do, when especially concerning the people, you got to ask yourself, well, are you willing to sacrifice? And I would sacrifice my life for this. I'm not saying that you got to become a martyr or anything like that, but I would literally sacrifice my life for the people because I love them so much. But yeah, much love to everyone. You know, rest in peace to my brother Hustle 3 times. I love you, bro. And you know, let's continue to love ourselves, love God, and understand our connection to God, and continue to put that more into the universe too. Much love.
I want to shout at anybody who took the time to listen. First of all, thank you for having me on the program, Steffon. It's a pleasure being on the program with you, TKO. People are the most precious commodity in the world, and we got to learn to treat people as God created them. And every angry young black person out there, my prayer is that the right catalyst is put in their lives to make them, to influence them to do the right thing, whatever that is for them. If that's protesting, if that's running for office somewhere, if that's joining police force, if that's talking somebody from doing something stupid, whatever it is. Look, we all are hurting, but when we're together, that pain becomes something else. It becomes purpose. So I just pray that our pain gains purpose, and we can physically affect change. I mean, we've always done it. We've survived since the beginning. We were taken from our homes. We were put in a different environment. We survived it. And not only did we survive, we thrived. We were given scraps. We was given scraps to eat. We was given the worst that was there to have, and we turned it into gourmet meals now. You've been given the least amount of education, and you've impacted the world. You've been gifted physically, and you've entertained the world. You've influenced the world through fashion, through music, through film, through your struggle. You were strong. And this doesn't define us. But what defines us is what we do. So whatever it is that you're doing, I encourage that you get in tune with your purpose and you see it through to the end.
For me, man, like I said, I want to thank you both from gracing this platform again, and also thank the viewers. I thank you all from taking time out y'all Sunday to tune in and hear three brothers sit back and have a discussion about what's going on and our perspective on things that's going on. And understand, you know, a lot of us, a lot of people out here is hurting from this situation, and a lot of people are disturbed. But understand, we got to be that light for one another, and we got to help heal one another as well too. You know, and so please, if you see a brother that's angry, pull him aside, talk to him. Talk to him, try to calm him down. Because one thing I agree with, a lot of things I agree with, Mr. Dewayne, but this one I agree with too. Because sometimes a young man can be in a position that he is about to make a decision that will cost him years of his life. So if you're around someone like that and you hear it in their voice, talk to them. Let them know it's going to be brighter days coming. Let them know it's a better way to channel his anger and his emotions and everything. We got to stop. We got to stop feeding the fire. But yet, I'm with Mr. TKO too. Sometimes we got to bang up some shit for people to hear us. That's true. But understand that there's consequences behind everything that you do. So again, love yourself, see your work, invest in yourself. And I promise you, you will start seeing a drastic change, because once your black dollar stay in your community longer than the white dollar stay in their community, that's when your dollar gonna start providing jobs and new opportunities for the people that look like you in your community. So love yourself, see your work. God bless you all. I wish all the best. Man, it's been a real one.
All right. Much love.
Good night.
Yes, indeed.
Much love.
Much love.